The rape and death of 5-year-old Kamari Holland sent shockwaves through our community. The little girl was reported missing on December 13, 2021 by her mother. After her body was found, 37-year-old Jeremy Williams was charged with capital murder in Russell County. Court documents obtained by News 3 allege that on the day 35-year-old Christy Sipple reported her child missing, she sold the child to Williams in exchange for money. As News 3's Teresa Whitaker reports, familial sex trafficking unfortunately is not rare at all.
It's easy to think of child sex traffickers as the big scary boogeyman next door. Experts say it's harder to imagine them sitting across from you on the sofa.
Yeah, so familial trafficking, I think, is probably one of the hardest things for people to wrap their brain around.
Bobby Starr is the executive director of Micah's Promise. It's an agency that seeks to restore childhoods stolen by sex traffickers. 25% of trafficking in Georgia is facilitated by family members.
And of the family facilitated trafficking, mothers play a role in 25% of that, and fathers play a role in 13%.
58% are other family members, not always blood. Starr says trafficking can be fueled by poverty, drugs, and gangs. A history with the Department of Family and Children's Services can be a tip-off.
So have there been previous calls for neglect, sexual abuse? Does the mom have drug and alcohol issues? Is it a single-parent household? As well as if you know that a child lives in the home, but the child is never coming outside to play, or they used to come outside to play and now they don't come out anymore.
The average age of a victim is 13, but statistics show that in the state of Georgia, when a mother is involved, the average age is 5. Kamari Holland was 5. We should note her mother is charged, but has not been convicted.
My gut reaction was she was going to be charged.
For non-familial predators, the biggest hunting ground is the internet. Starr says that's where grooming, selling, and buying takes place. Kids with cell phones are vulnerable. In the U.S., 58% of children have a cell phone by the age of 11. Children looking to have their needs met elsewhere, even in the higher socioeconomic levels of our community. Through the internet, millions of people have access to children. Sex traffickers are all too willing to pose as friends to meet whatever needs the children have.
They prey on their need to be in a relationship, they prey on their need for love, and they prey on their need for material items as well.
Starr says there was a drop in the reporting of these cases during the pandemic because teachers don't have eyes on the kids. Tanisha Mathis is a certified school counselor, but has worked in the classroom as a teacher.
The students are with their teachers 8 hours a day. Essentially, they're with their teachers more than they are with their parents. So a lot of things that are occurring that are abnormal, the educator notices it before the parents do.
When Mathis was a teacher at a school system in another part of Georgia, her instincts kicked in when it came to one transfer student in particular.
And I did notice some hygiene issues, and that's one of the telltale signs. And standoffish, she didn't really want to talk to a lot of people. However, I did get her to open up to me, and she told me that she was a transfer in from another county. And there was one instance where I was having issues with her grades, and I was trying to contact her mother. And for some reason, I could not contact her mother, but she told me that I needed to contact her mom's boyfriend, not stepfather, but her mom's boyfriend. And I thought that was kind of odd.
There were other signs.
And every day she would go to the restroom about the same time, and she would sneak her cell phone in the restroom. It's almost as if she was checking in with someone.
The way the student reacted to the phone being taken was all the confirmation Mathis needed.
Getting her cell phone taken caused a total meltdown. There was crying, there was shaking. It was almost as if the child was terrified to have the cell phone taken away. Now, most students are upset when they get their cell phone taken away, but this was very, very abnormal, so I knew something was wrong.
Mathis reported it. They later learned the girl was being trafficked. Her mother's boyfriend was arrested. Her mother was unreachable because she was doing time. Bobby Starr works closely with child psychiatrist Dr. Brett Murphy Dawson. She says innocent, vulnerable children at the hands of manipulators can take a huge emotional toll on the victims.
They typically will have depression, some anxiety, increased suicidal thoughts.
But there are success stories, says Dr. Murphy Dawson, of victims who became survivors and are living their best lives. And that's what Micah's Promise hopes to do with the new therapeutic facility, Girls Rise Academy, for sex-trafficked girls.
Receiving therapy in the home, education. They'll be learning how to be more resilient and learn what their aspirations are and what their God-given gifts are. So that's what, and helping them learn how to heal through art therapy, working through nature, and garden therapy. So there'll be a lot of different ways that we'll be helping them to address their trauma and to become who God has purposed them to be.
The old adage, see something, say something, still stands, says Assistant Police Chief Joyce Dent Fitzpatrick. She says if your gut tells you something is amiss, take pics. If you come across child porn, do not send it to police. That's illegal. Let police retrieve it. She encourages neighbors to be on the lookout for malnourished children and other signs.
If you see a lot of foot traffic in and out all times of the night, of course drug usage, and different cars coming and picking up people, dropping people off.
Victims of sex trafficking can be male and female children as well as men and women. Star says it's happening in hotels and motels, strip clubs and homes. She says it's important to erase the stigma attached to runaways. They could be running away from an abusive situation. She says it's also important to not view the victims as prostitutes. She says the Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell case helped change that perception. Now she says let's go after the buyers.
It can be a professional, they can be a youth pastor, I mean, it could be anybody.
Rationalizing that going after younger victims shields them from sexually transmitted diseases. Star says last year 26 kids were identified as victims of sex traffickers right here in our area. In Columbus, Teresa Whitaker, News 3 on your side.
Micah's Promise gets its name from the scripture found in Micah chapter 6, verse 8, where the Lord requires his people to, quote, act justly, love mercy, and walk humbly, end quote. The Girls Rise Academy is slated to open in September of 2022. If you would like to report what you suspect is sex trafficking, call 911, or the National Trafficking Hotline number is 1-888-373-788. You can also find this number on our website, as well as a link to more sources about sex trafficking.